Hello everyone, William here, and today we're going to talk about how to pronounce Chinese words correctly. So first, a little bit about myself. I grew up here. I was born and raised in the Cantonese speaking area of Guangdong, China. I spent the first 16 years of my life here. Then I proceeded to spend another 7 years in the States. All these years in the States really made me realize that Chinese words, when Romanized, is pretty hard for English speakers to pronounce, and oftentimes I cringe a little bit, just on the inside when I hear people talk about that. So might as well make a video about that. So with that, let's get into today's video. So first, when we talk about Romanized Chinese words, we're going to talk about the two major systems of Romanizing Chinese words. So first up is a very old translation system that began in the mid-19th century. It was produced by Thomas Wade, and later on it was really given completed form by Herbert A. Giles in 1892. So a prime example of that kind of translation is really the word Peking, P-E-K-I-N-G. It's not Peking. If you want to say it in a kind of English sense, it's Peking, but really in Chinese, I believe it was a Wade Giles translation of the Cantonese pronunciation of Beijing, which is Peking. So, it kind of goes like that. Another prime example of the Wade Giles system would be the beer brand. Most people probably have heard about it. You can buy it anywhere nowadays probably. It's called Tsingtao, T-S-I-N-G-T-A-O. Actually in Chinese it's pronounced Qingdao, Q-I-N-G-D-A-O in the pinyin system. A lot of English speakers will totally have trouble with the Q in front. So, the Wade Giles system in that sense is perfectly fine for English speakers to try to pronounce that, but for Chinese people, that just doesn't make sense at all. Still, till today, I think Taiwan still uses that system. Over there, Kaohsiung, which is G-A-O-X-I-O-N-G in a newer pinyin, mainland translation system. But over there, it's Kaohsiung. So, it's easier for English speakers or Westerners to pronounce. Another example would be Taipei. It's actually Taipei, with a B instead of a P. So it's just the nature of that system. And since the new China was founded in 1949, we developed another system called Pinyin, which is another system that's more direct toward, for Chinese speakers and for kids to learn how to speak in a phonetic sense. Prime example would be Beijing would be B-E-I-J-I-N-G. Beijing, Beijing. In the Wade Giles system, it would be more like, Peking. That's kind of the difference between that. And nowadays, more and more words are actually Romanized in pinyin forms, which is really not designed for English speakers. So that's why a lot of people are having trouble with that. So I'm here today to help you all with that and, try to get comfortable with that if you're trying to come to China or talk to Chinese people and not embarrass yourself. So let's get started with today's, a lesson maybe. I've divided all the words that's common and, most people will pronounce it incorrectly into three categories: places, names, and brand names. Well, names and brands, you get it. So first up in the places category, we have Beijing. Beijing in Chinese. So when you write it out on paper, it will be B-I-B-E-I-J-I-N-G, Beijing. It's not Beijing. Well, if you want to say it correctly, it's Beijing, Jing, Beijing. When you pronounce the J, it's not J like like Jello. It's more like J. You gotta have really grind your teeth together. Jing, Beijing, Beijing. That's more like it. And next up is Shanghai, which is actually Shanghai in Chinese. S-H-A-N-G-H-A-I. So with the G after the Shang, it's not really Shang anymore in the English sense. It's actually more like Shang. You gotta open your mouth really wide open. Shanghai, Shanghai, not Shanghai, Shanghai. Next up is the really popular city nowadays, maybe like 20 years ago, nobody even heard about it. It's Shenzhen, Shenzhen, S-H-E-N-Z-H-E-N, Shenzhen. So a lot of people will have trouble with the Z, they will say like Shenzhen or something, but no, with the Z and the H together, it's more like a J. Now it's more like Jello, you know, Shenzhen. All right, so finally in the places category, now I'm just naming the most famous cities in China. Next will be probably another huge city called Guangzhou. You know, in the Weijiao system, they translated it into canton, which is actually kind of funny because I think the word actually, when you translate it back, it's more like a general sense of the province Guangdong, you know, because in Cantonese, it's Guangdong, so canton, Guangdong, you know, kind of makes sense. But the word canton actually means Guangzhou, the city, not a province. In Mandarin, it's Guangzhou, Guangzhou, Guangzhou. So that's really the places that people get confused about, but you know, mostly they wouldn't go wrong, like too wrong with it, so I guess it's fine. But on to the next category, we have names. Now this is really the most confusing because I went to college, well, or gonna say go Bees. In classes we go over rows and whatever, and we have a lot of, you know, international students, and me included, but my name in Chinese is really easy to pronounce, so there's no way to get that wrong. So a lot of other people have really, you know, complicated names that include different vowels and whatever, so that's just really confusing to the professors. So we're gonna talk about names, and particularly family name, because like some of them people get really wrong. First up, we have Wang. Now, how do you want to say it? Say it. I already know what you're thinking. Say it. No, it's not what you're thinking. It's not Wang, okay? It's not Wang, like, you know, Wang. It's Wang, like more like W-O-N-G, like Wang, you know, Wang. You gotta open your mouth wide open again, Wang. You know, don't be a jerk and call people Wang, okay? That's not nice. I know you're giggling inside, okay? It's not Wang, okay? It's not what you're thinking. Next up, we have my name in the Cantonese form, which is the Weijiao system of translating it, but my last name is Wu. W-U, or over in Hong Kong they would translate into Wu, like W-O-O. But there's another way of saying it, it's N-G now. How do you want to say it? N-G. Pretty confusing, right? So to say that is actually a translation of Wu, but in Cantonese. So in Cantonese, Wu becomes So you know, now you get it? It's kind of like you're just making a sound, but it's really someone else's name. So it's you know, or you know, you want to say moo, but it's So that's how they got NG. So it's not the Mostly nowadays it's Vietnamese people using it, but Hong Kong people use it as well. Speaking of Hong Kong, kind of a Weijiao kind of, you know, translation of the word Hong Kong, Xianggang. So, but it's been that way for so long that nobody even bothers to like change it anymore. So it's just Hong Kong now. So next up in the names category, we have Zhang, Z-H-A-N-G. Now, when people see the Z again, they tend to say Zhang or Zhang or something, but together with what we learned just now, when you see the ZH, it's more like J, and then the A-N-G is really like Zhang, so it's Zhang. Say it, Zhang, there you go. And finally, we have the category brand names. Now, Chinese brands, well, arguably they're very good at copying, but nowadays more and more Chinese brands are coming out with things of their own and really impressing people that way. But people still can't get their names right. I mean, come on, man. So first up, we have Huawei, Huawei. Now, most people get it kind of right, but not quite. They say Huawei. Did you hear it? They say Huawei. To them, like the H is silent almost, but I can assure you that's really not the case. So it's really Huawei. You know, you gotta say the H out loud, you know, like Huawei. Now the Hua, H-U-A, actually means Sino or Chinese, general sense of Chinese. So Hua, you know, Huaren would be Chinese people, you know, Chinese descent or something. Not Huawei, but Huawei. Next up, we have
Ziyun.
Now, it's not Ziyun like you're gonna hear a lot of people say, but it's actually like, you know, now you see the ZH again, it's J, like Jello, right? J. And the I is actually like a long E, like an I. So it's Zhi. And then it comes to the Y-U-N. So And that's really confusing because the kind of spelling like that doesn't really exist in English. So it was actually more like 智云智云智云智云智云智云智云. There you go. And actually in Chinese it means intelligent cloud. Pretty trendy, huh? Pretty trendy name. And finally, in the brands category, we have Weibo.
Weibo.
It's not Weibo, it's not Weibo, it's Weibo. B-O is bo, not bo, but bo. Weibo. And so in the literal sense, it actually means micro blog, which is essentially what Twitter and Weibo is. So it's not Weibo, it's Weibo. So in conclusion, it's not really people are intentionally pronouncing them incorrectly, but more like because the pinging system is not totally designed for English speakers. I'm not here to scrutinize anybody for pronouncing them incorrectly, but if you're interested in in Chinese or in Chinese culture, and you should probably know about it. So that's it for this lesson, really. Not much of a lesson, more just like a clarification on how Chinese words should be pronounced. Really, I don't care if you pronounce it whatever way you want. I don't really care. I can understand them perfectly, but if you're interested, I hope that helped. If you dislike this video, you can hit that button. But if you like this video, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button for more fun stuff. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you next time for more things that you want to learn about. Maybe you can leave a comment down below, and peace.